Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about this custom Air 9 trail version that we put together at our bike shop. This is a custom 2-star Niner Air 9 with the aluminum frame, and it's set up in what we're calling a trail configuration. I'm going to run through what's different about our build versus the stock standard Niner 2-star build. We also have a version of this bike that we've built up that we're calling an XC build. I'll go through that in another video. I'm going to go through the frame, fork, talk about the wheels and the tires. That's one of the changes we've made. We're going to talk about the drivetrain, the brakes. Brakes are one of the things that we changed as well. And then we'll talk about our whole thoughts on the bike and why we did this, how it fits into our lineup, because it's not the only custom Air 9 setups that we have in the shop. The frame. This is Niner's aluminum Air 9 frame. Now they have another Air 9 frame that's called the Air 9 RDO. The RDO is the carbon version. It stands for Race Day Optimized. This is not the RDO. This is the aluminum Air 9 frame. The Air 9 frame is a modern boost frame with a through axle in the back. The brake line and the shift cable and housing are both on the outside of the frame, running on the back side. If you have this bike and you want to service it, you can literally unbolt everything off of the frame, completely clean the bike up, and put it back together as a new bike very simply. One nice thing, even though this is a very simple frame, this frame is set up so you can run a dropper post on it if you want. We'll talk about the seat post later and why we don't have a dropper post on this specific version. But if you wanted to run one, you can. The cable runs on the outside of the frame right here, runs into an entry port inside the frame, and you can run an internal routed dropper post on it. As far as the fork goes, this is the Marzocchi Bomber Z2 in 120 millimeter option. It's a little beefier fork than your standard XC fork, but it's not a full-on trail fork like you would find on a 140 travel bike. It's a nice middle of the road because this is a pretty light C-ish frame, but like I said, we've set it up in kind of a trail type of configuration. This fork is actually the fork that comes stock if you order a stock 2-star Air 9. We like this fork. We've had good luck with it. Actually, we've had not a single issue with this fork, and we've put a lot of these bikes through our shop. The thing about this fork versus your standard XC fork, this fork is not going to have as much flex when you come into a corner with hard braking. It's very predictable. The wheels and the tires. A stock Air 9 2-star build would usually come with a house brand XC wheel, 25 millimeter internal rim width. We took those off. They're actually not bad wheels, but for doing a trail build, we wanted to go to a wider rim. We put the Boyd Cycling Stump House 30 millimeter wheel on it with Schwalbe knobby nicks. These are your 2.4 knobby nicks. All right, so to wrap things up, why this build? The stock configuration of the Niner Air 9, it's pretty good. And at $1429, pretty tough to beat. I don't think any of the big brands can actually beat that price. And a lot of the bikes in that price range do not have through axles on the back. And some of them are not even boost frames. This is through axles, front and rear with a boost frame. We also ordered in some Niner Air 9 frame sets that came in with 100 millimeter Fox 32 rhythm forks. That's when we got the idea, how do we differentiate these builds? Somebody that's wanting the burlier fork probably wants a little bit burlier tire and maybe a little bit burlier wheel and potentially the brakes. So we came up with the idea, let's take the bikes with the 120 forks that already have the knobby nicks on them, already have the slightly beefier fork. We can make a trail version of this with just a couple of tweaks, 4-piston caliper brakes and a little bit beefier wheels on them. We think it's a great build. We've sold a lot of these Air 9s over the last 3 or 4 years, and people love them. People have used them a whole bunch where they've brought them in just for some checkup or some tire sealant, and the bikes have been fantastic. I think the tweaks that we made kind of just dial it in and make it a little bit more perfect. I will share another video with the C build that we have, and the cool thing is we can do a whole lot. So for instance, we had somebody in the shop last week that was looking at this, and I think we may end up going with our trail build, but we might actually swap back over and put the XC wheels and tires on it, because this person is probably going to appreciate the 120 fork, but probably still wants a little faster rolling tire and a little bit snappier feeling bike with less rotational mass on the wheels versus the beefier wheels in tires. Anyway, there's a lot of ways you can slice these bikes up and put configurations together. We really get a kick out of coming up with something that's a little
little bit more unique. We'll order them based off of what, you know, this is a great bang for the buck bike. If I'm going to spend this specific amount of money on a bike, this is pretty close to what I would do. But when we have the opportunity to make some tweaks on them and just kind of dial it in a little bit closer, and then we can offer that straight out to the customer, it's pretty cool. It's satisfying. We enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and it makes us want to do it more, and people are happy with the bikes. Anyway, if you have any questions about what we can do with these bikes, because we do have some more frame sets that we're going to build the XC builds out of. We only have so many. Whatever we have in stock right now is what we can hit these current prices with, because that's like the parts kits that we have here. But this has been a mainstay bike for us. This is a bike that will always be in our shop. It's really difficult to beat for the money and the bike that you're getting. I think this bike competes with a lot of bikes that are over its price. So anyway, any questions, reach out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll keep sharing these. Thanks.